Hey guys, Aaron Davis here, and I chose to do my Woman of the Revolution as Abigail Adams. Um, and the reason why I chose her was because I thought kind of her position was interesting. She was the first second lady of the United States, and but she would be the second first lady of the United States as her husband John Adams um, would become president of the United States after following Washington. Um, Reason why I chose her is because outside of that kind of little interesting tidbit is because her letters that she would constantly write back and forth to John Adams. Her and John are going to be separated for quite a while. I mean, not like married separation, but they just spent long times apart because of John Adams's commitments to the American Revolution, the Continental Congress, the Constitution, and eventually the presidency. And he was a diplomat. He was a founding father, so he had all these responsibilities that he had to tend to that really took time away from his wife. And his wife, Abigail Adams, in these letters gives historians really a firsthand account of what it was like running a farm and kind of running a house on top of being a wife to a person who is an important figure of the American Revolution and also being a very influential, obviously, in John Adams' life. For example, according to the WhiteHouse.gov, which is usually the website that I pretty much use for a lot of just quick information about presidents. Um, she would write him letters, and she would during the American Revolution, she would really tell stories about how when she stayed at home and struggled with wartime shortages, which is something a lot of farmers dealt with at the time, inflation, which was again a constant struggle with the American financing of the war, and it really had a devastating impact on farmers. Probably even harder on wives who were running the farms while their husbands were away at war or leading the country, like her husband was. Also, she didn't have a whole lot of help running the farm just because of labor shortages at the time. She had to teach their four children um, because their formal education was interrupted due to the revolution. And again, it was really neat because she would start her letters off, or not start her letters off, but describe her letters as like she. It was really hard without her because she was very lonely because she was without her dearest friend, which was her husband. And it kind of makes me think a little bit about my marriage, how if Brittany was away a lot, I mean, I would kind of be lost without my best friend or my dearest friend. So that reading this and kind of studying a little bit about Abigail Adams really kind of hit home with me because I mean, I can understand what she'd be going through if I was going through a similar situation. She now after 1784, after the war, she would go on to join him. She would just be in his diplomatic post in Paris with him, observed the interest and manners of the French. After 1785, she would she would travel with him to England and be the minister of the United States to Great Britain, which he was, but he was her wife. And then they would kind of spend the rest of their lives, obviously, in Massachusetts, but uh, she she would eventually become the first second lady, become close with Martha Washington. But unfortunately, in 1791, poor health forced her to spend as much time as possible in Quincy, which was in Massachusetts. Endless in trouble with her. She declared she would not forget the blessings of her sweetened life. Um, so again, Abigail would die in 1818 and was buried alongside her husband. And again, she was known as being a very patriotic woman and tried to support not only the beginnings of the country but her husband's professions and duties to the country as well. See ya. Thanks.